On. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYr, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts. We got a special guest today, Mr. Bruce Batman Mitchell, JSU signee, defensive back out of Texas via Arkansas. What's going on with you, Bruce?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I can't complain at all, buddy. I can't complain at all, man. So, like,
Yes,
before we
sir.
get into Jackson State and looks like you're there on campus, everything looking good. Who introduced you to? I always ask folks, who introduced you to ball, man. What was the first time you kind of learned how to play football? Who introduced you to the game, and how'd you kind of get into football?
So I wanted to play football my whole life. I think the person who was really influential in me playing football was one of my older cousins. He was my first coach, and then because my parents didn't really want me to play until I got a little bit more developed. But when I started, I was around 8 years old, and ever since then, man, it's just stuck with me.
I got you. I got you. And so you said at 8 years old you started playing. So you're a D1 athlete now, man. So
Yes, sir.
so that means you're pretty good. So like when did you realize like, hey man, I'm actually all right at this thing, man. I'm actually pretty good at football.
I think I realized it maybe around seventh and eighth grade when I started to realize like, okay, like I'm bigger than everybody else. Like none of these people on the field can guard me, and I'm kind of just rolling and running. You know how it is with athletes. I mean,
when you a beast,
when
yeah.
you have it, when you're a beast, especially at a young age, when you're a beast, you can really just run around and kind of do it whatever you want to on the field. So I mean, it started in probably seventh or eighth grade. That's when the dream really started. I really wanted to be like this is where I wanted to be my whole life. So I'm incredibly blessed, and it's a blessing to be here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now we were chatting a little bit offline, man. I'll ask you a little personal. What was it like? You told me you moved from Arkansas to Texas. What was that like for you during your life as far as moving? Was it difficult? Were you excited? Or what was that kind of like?
I think it was it was God, to be honest, because like Arkansas isn't the safest place, but I love it. I hate leaving every time that I go visit my family and stuff, but it's not the safest place, and my dad ended up getting a job that got us up out of there. So I think it's just a blessing from God that we ended up moving to Texas, and Texas Texas kind of changed my life. I'm be real honest with you because ever since I've been in Texas, like everything's changed for me. Football is like almost like God down there. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different in Texas, man. A lot
It's
different from
crazy.
Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, man, football in Texas kind of changed my life, and I I don't know if I would be here without it today. So I'm incredibly grateful.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear, Bruce. Now, like you said, you moved from Arkansas to Texas around middle school. But in the high school, let's talk about your high school career. What high school did you go to, and what was high school like starting from freshman year up until the time you graduated? What was that like for you?
Okay, okay. So first, I started off at Parish Episcopal. It's a private school that I went to coming out of middle school. We won two state championships while I was there,
Oh
and
wow.
then after my sophomore year, I decided it was time for me to leave because it was getting a little too far for me to travel. I would say because
Mm,
like we were moving from time to time because we were living in rental houses, so we were moving from time to time, going from Plano to Frisco. So me and my family just decided it was best if we kind of just took me out of private school and headed to a public school. And then when I got to Lone Star, I believe it was 2 weeks after we won our second state championship at Paris. Yeah, right in January, they kind of accepted me into their family, and I'm internally grateful for all the coaches and players that I met there, and they'll forever be my brothers, and some of them, I mean, I consider family, you know. So
absolutely, man. That's awesome.
when I got to Lone Star, we had two pretty good seasons. I wish we would have made it farther in the playoffs in both of those seasons, but hey, that's just how Texas football goes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't like you was playing against no soup sandwiches. I mean, you was playing against
that's
some
right.
dudes as ballers. I mean, it was some
That's
dudes that can
right.
ball out of Texas, man. But let's talk
Yeah,
about
man.
you on the field. When did you see significant time during your freshman sophomore year, or when did the game start to kind of pick up for you in high school?
Okay, so my freshman year, I was kind of in a rotation. I was playing receiver a lot more.
Okay.
I didn't really get introduced to defensive back. Well, I was playing it while I was in middle school and while I was in like ninth grade and stuff, but like I was a receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's just what I wanted to do at that time. I wanted to play receiver. I my first season at Parrish, I had I think like 10 catches for 100 yards, something like that. It
Hmm.
wasn't like
Okay.
anything crazy. I would just go in third and fourth quarter, try to see what I can do, try to make something shake. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, and then my sophomore year, first game of the season, I was playing receiver still, and I had 5 catches for 100 yards, and that was the first game I ever started in. And then after that, it's kind of a crazy story. So the second game, I had 1 catch for 18 yards. And I was kind of mad about it, but I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's fine. So I went in my coach's office, and he was like, and I asked him, what can I do to get on the field? What can I do to get better, and all of that stuff. So I asked if I could play defense, and
Okay.
it was something me and my coach, my defensive coordinator, had been talking about for a long time. So yeah, he kind of wanted me to the whole season, but at first I wasn't really feeling that idea because I was a receiver. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to mess with the dark side like that, as I like to call it. But
Yeah.
it's been a real interesting journey. By week 3, I was starting at corner. First game, I
Okay.
got in there and had a couple PBUs, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow, man. Wow. And
Yep.
so when you get to Frisco, you're locked in at DB, but you're a new student. So you're coming in as a
Hmm.
junior or as a sophomore rather, but junior season. You're
Right.
playing. What was that kind of like, man? That had to crack that after you just cracked the lineup as a corner over here at your
Yeah.
private school. You're going over to a new school to crack the lineup. What was that like? Because you coming to take somebody's spot. You know, you're the new
Yeah.
kid coming to take somebody's spot. What was that like?
Yeah. So when I after playing DB for a while, right before I got to Lone Star, I started getting pretty good at it because I had a lot of game experience. Obviously, I played 9 or 10 games at DB my sophomore year, so I started to get a lot more experience with it, and then I started training a lot more. I got with Coach Flight and Coach Clay Mack, which are some premier trainers in Dallas, the Dallas area. So I got with those guys. They helped me out a lot, and then my coaches at Lone Star obviously helped me out a lot. Coach Johnson, Coach Ernest. I mean, they like I said, they accepted me into their family as soon as I got there, and it's been a long journey with a lot of hard work, but I'm here now, so it was all
Absolutely,
worth it.
man. Absolutely, man. So, at what point during your high school career did you start getting recruited? Like, who was some of the first schools to kind of reach out to you, and what was that process like for you early, leading up to where you're at right now, JSU?
So my first offer was right after my freshman season ended. It came from Illinois State, and it was
Okay.
for receiver actually, which was kind of crazy. And then my second one, my second one was I want to say it was like 2 months after my sophomore year ended, and then it was for DB, but at that time I was kind of fidgeting with both. But the coach was like, it was actually I don't know if you know Coach Hunley from SMU.
Yeah.
He's not a corners coach. Oh, he was a corner coach at Liberty at the time, which was my second offer. He called me. He was like, "Man, I think you can really make money at DB." So
Mm.
I mean, like I said, man, I've been rocking with DB since sophomore year. And I haven't looked back, but but after that, I got my third, I think, like in the middle of the season, my junior year, and then after junior year is really when it started to pick up. That's when I got my Jackson State offer, My Indiana offer, my SMU offer. Tulsa came in late June. So I mean, it's been a long process, and it's definitely one of the people think it's all like glitz and glamour, but it's kind of stressful, honestly, because
Mm,
you picking between so many schools, and then some of the offers that they offer you aren't really committable and stuff like that.
mm.
So something I would say to a lot of kids out there is just know who you can trust and know who believes in you. And Jackson State believed in me enough to give me an opportunity to come here. So I'm incredibly grateful for that, and I'm so blessed to be here.
And shout out to you, man. Shout out to once again, we're talking to Bruce Batman Mitchell, sorry. Defensive back commit signee. He's there. He's already enrolled there at Jackson State. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe. Now, Bruce, I want to ask you because you pointed out something. You said every offer ain't committable. People will get offers
Right.
and ain't committable. And one thing that I saw from you that I thought was really interesting was that I remember seeing on Twitter before you committed to JSU, you were essentially like, hey, I know you guys offered me the previous staff or
Yeah.
whatever, but there's a new staff. So I want to get, I want to make sure this offer is solid. And you kind of put it out
Yeah.
there. What kind of made you kind of go that route, man? We'll see that from a lot of kids. A lot of kids say, oh, yeah, I got a Jack State offer. I'm good. But it's like, nah, I had one, but I want to make sure it's still good. What kind of made you go that route?
So I kind of just wanted to test the waters a little bit, honestly. I
Okay.
saw I wanted to see if obviously my offer was still committable with the new staff and everything. And then ever since I came to the spring game, I wanted to go to Jackson State. It's always been something that's been on my mind. So I kind of wanted to
Mm.
test the waters and see if I could, really make this thing happen. And boom, it happened, I guess. So I got re-offered by the new staff, and I'm at Jackson State, baby.
Absolutely, man. So what was that like though? You put that tweet out. Was there a coach that kind of hit you up? Was it other players? Like how did that process of getting re-offered from the school that you said you knew you wanted to go to since April? How did that kind of all come about?
So it was some of the players were talking to me a lot. They was like pull up to Jackson State, like come to Jackson State, all that, and then the fans, seriously, the fans are incredible. Like there's nothing like them. I promise you. And then Coach O had reached out to me about getting my re-offer, so that was pretty cool. And then I talked to TC right before I committed. So just all those people who blessed me with this opportunity, man. I'm grateful to them.
Absolutely,
And
man.
then the
Once again,
next
we're
day, I
talking.
think I think the next day or the day after that, I was signed. So it
Wow.
was like right before sign day. It was like
It
right
went
before
real
sign day.
fast, man. Man, that's awesome, man. You talked about being at the spring game. So, what kind of got you? Because you said you had all these offers previously. What kind of made you want to go see Jackson State in person at the spring
So I was intrigued. You know what I'm saying?
game?
Jackson State is a program who's had a lot of success in the last, well, forever, but a lot more success in the last couple of years, especially. I was intrigued by the how well the program was doing, and I liked what they were doing for the HBCU culture. And I really wanted to see what it was like down here. And when I came down here, man, the atmosphere is like nowhere else I've been. Like they had the band playing at the spring game, and everybody in the front. It's people in the stands. Like it's fully packed out. And then like I mean the players is like it's just really good to be here for real.
That's what's up, man. Like that's awesome, and that's cool to hear you say that spring game experience. You said, "Yo, ever since the spring game, like that's where I wanted to go." Was there any
Right.
hesitation for you, knowing, like you knew at the spring game, it was like, "Yo, JSU, that's where I want to go. This is what I want to do." But then obviously they had a coaching change. Was there any
Mhm.
hesitation from you about like, oh, do I still want to go there even though they have a coaching change, or was you always like, "Yo, if they reoffer me, that's where I'm going."
I mean, I wanted to go to Jackson State, like I said, since April. So I wouldn't say it was no you know, like I thought about it for a while. I was like, okay, obviously they got new coaches. Like, do they still? My whole thing was, do they still want me? Because if they still want me, I still want to go. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just kind of how it went, man.
That's what's up, dog. That's what's up. Once again, we're talking to Bruce Batman Mitchell. So, Bruce, you played in like an all-star game. What all-star
Yes,
game was it
sir.
that you played in, and what was that experience like for you?
It was the Army All American game. It just made a comeback. I believe they were working with the Adidas All American game a couple of years ago, and something happened with that, and then they just started coming back and doing it again. It's the game that what's his name, Deshaun Jackson and them played in back in the
Okay.
day, and it was a really cool experience. It was really good to be playing against some of the best players in the country, and I think I proved that I'm one of those players. So it was a great experience. The whole week was really, really fun. And it was so convenient because it was right in Frisco, Texas, which is where I live, and they played it
Oh
at the
man.
Star, which is where I play. So I didn't really have to get on a plane or anything. I just go down to the hotel that we were staying at, and I was all American. So it was a cool experience, man.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome, man. And so, you signed at JSU. What made you? Because you enrolled early. You're there on campus. What kind of made you? What went into that decision with you and your family and deciding to enroll early and being on a college campus, whether it was JSU or anywhere, in time for the spring semester?
So I've known ever since I got my first couple offers. I started seeing like when I was a kid, I started seeing like a lot of my older friends, like people that I consider brothers, start to enroll early. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like this is what I want to do. I want to follow in their footsteps, and I want to enroll early, and I want to go up there, show what I can do, and I want to graduate early because I started the whole process my junior year, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. I want to graduate early and see if I could possibly go grab me a spot and get on the field early and all that. And I think enrolling early is something huge. It's like I feel like you like have to get there early so you can really develop in the system and everything like that, so you can possibly play early. So I think it was a good decision. I started the process my junior year. I started taking some senior classes and stuff like that, and then I took some classes over the summer. So I already kind of knew I was enrolling early. I just didn't know where yet. So when I got my reoffer, I talked to Coach O about it. I talked to Coach TC about it, and they were pretty cool about it because a lot of people. I think it's 10 to 12 of us that enroll early. They're mid-year signees. So yeah, man, yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad it all worked out, and yeah, man, it's a blessing.
That's awesome, man. Like that, and like you said, the enrolling early benefits you in so many ways. You learn your playbook, you get to know the facilities, you get to know the campus, get to know your coaches better. Just get an early head start ahead of summer workouts, fall camp, all that stuff. You get a whole spring, get 15 practices or whatever. So yeah, the enrolling early, man. Congratulations on that. That was a really really smart, really really good decision, and hopefully that'll benefit you in the long run as far as playing. And speaking of playing, man. I mean, JSU, yes, they lost a lot through the transfer portal, but boy, oh boy, are y'all loading up as far as getting a
Yes,
ton of
sir.
talent. And what is that like? And I've seen you, particularly you with Tristan and some other guys, Savion, y'all active on that Twitter, man. Y'all actively
Oh yeah.
recruiting for the school, recruiting for y'all team. What's that mindset like, man? Because we don't see that too often. College athletes actively recruiting for their school, for their team on social media. What kind of made you want to go that route and do that for JSU?
It's all about reloading. I know a lot of people left and all that stuff happened, but we gotta get some players. We gotta do things like this to make sure that we right back at the top. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's expected of us. You know what I'm saying? We expected to be at the top. So if
Absolutely.
we as players gotta go get the talent, and our coaches are also doing a good job of going to get the talent, and we helping them out tremendously by going and try to get players like Dakota's Crawford and those players like that, those players that's gonna help elevate us back to that level that we were just at last year and the year before that. Yeah, man, we trying to win the SWAC again. We trying to go be Celebration Bowl champ. So you know what I'm saying. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And speaking of, players on the roster and players that could potentially be joining, what's that like for you? Because you're still trying to fight for a spot, man. You're a true freshman, but you want to play. So what is that competition? Knowing that, hey, there's other guys that are just as good or maybe even better than me at the time that I'm gonna have to beat out as far as to try to get that spot on the field. What's that like for you as far as the competition aspect at JSU?
It makes you hungry. It makes you want to get up every day and go get it, go give it your all, go give it your best, because you know somebody's always watching you, no matter what you're doing. Even in this interview right now, somebody's watching me. So I gotta be the best at what I do, and I gotta go out there and prove why I deserve to be on the field, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely, man. I love it, man. I love it. Once again, this is Bruce Mitchell, Jackson State signee. He's there on campus. He's ready to hit the field there at the vet. Now, Bruce, for the folks that may or may not have seen you play before, how would you describe your game?
I'm athletic. I cover really well. I try not to make a whole lot of mistakes. I don't really make a whole lot of mistakes. I can play every DB position on the field at this point in my career. I play safety, nickel, corner, anything you need me to play. And yeah, man, that's pretty much the whole gist of it. But on the field, I'm a dog. I'm somebody who gonna talk that talk and walk that walk, and I'm gonna lock people up. Yeah, yes, sir.
Man. Hey, that sounds good, man. Now, as a DB, we hear a lot of DBs and corners. They always say corners, like, if not the toughest position on the field. Where would you say corner? Oh, okay. Why is that? Why is corner the toughest position to play in football?
On the field. It's the hardest position on the field because you never know what the man in front of you is gonna do, and you not only have to worry about that man in front of you. You gotta worry about that man next to that man, the number 2 receiver, the slot receiver. He might be coming at you. You don't know what he gonna do. He could go up the field. He could run it out, and you just gotta be on your toes, and you gotta have that mindset that nobody gonna burn me. Or if you do get burned, you gotta get up and say next play mentality. He's not gonna do this to me again. So you gotta have like such a strong mindset. You gotta have so much confidence in your game in order to play corner. That's why I believe it's one of the hardest positions on the field, if not the hardest position on the field, because obviously quarterback is pretty hard too. So that's probably neck and neck for me, quarterback and corner, and probably center.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you, man, because the one thing you didn't say to the corners and DBs have to do is that as a person is running towards you, you got to run backwards. You know what I mean? Like, you literally running backwards. That's tough, bro. Like, that's you know what I mean? Like, that's. And so it's like corner, you have to be agile, have to be fluid, have to get in and out of breaks. You know what I mean? Like you said, you're playing the receiver know what he's doing, and you playing him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's tough. So I give it to you, man. I love, and that's why I love watching cornerback play and defensive back play, because I know how important it is. A lot of those sacks that the big D linemen get or the linebackers get is because of what's happening on the back end. You know what I mean? Like, so I like that, man. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, I am a fan. Yeah, man, I am a fan of defensive back, cornerback play, man. Well, Bruce, I won't hold you too much longer, man. But what are, just going into Jackson State, going into your freshman year, going into spring ball, man? What are your expectations for you, Bruce Mitchell, during the spring season, during spring ball this spring?
I put a lot of expectations on myself because I know what I can do, and I know. And I'm confident. I'm confident in how I play and how I can move on the field. So I definitely want to try to crack at least 2 deep on the at corner or safety or whatever. I want to show the coaches what I can do, and I want to show the coaches that they can trust me on the field to make plays. So that's kind of my goal of the spring, is to show the coaches what I can do and earn their trust.
Absolutely, man. Has it been, you've been on campus, it hasn't been that long though, but are you homesick at all yet? Is it far away? How far are you from Jackson, from Frisco? How far is that? And are you in a little bit, you missing dad, missing mom, or what's going on?
I'm a little homesick. My family left yesterday, actually, so I missed them a lot. I miss my little brother. I miss my sister. I miss my mom and my dad. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, and I'm happy to be here. And then it's like 6 hours from Frisco,
Okay.
so I mean, I think my parents are coming back in 2 weeks, so I'm looking forward to
Okay.
that.
That's good, man. Hey, that's not too bad. They can catch games. You know, six
Right,
ain't
right.
close, but it ain't like 8 hours, 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like, so it's close enough to where they can catch you play on Saturdays.
And actually, Arkansas is closer
Hmm.
to Jackson than Frisco is, so I think they're probably gonna leave out of Arkansas, and then they can bring some of my other family members with them too. So that'll be pretty cool as well.
Awesome, man. That'll be awesome, man. Well, Bruce, I'll get you out here in just a few, but I want to ask you this once again. This is Bruce Mitchell, Jackson State signee. He's coming in class 2023, this big time freshman class for JSU. Be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Now, Bruce, I hope you go on to have an illustrious career at Jackson State. I hope you go on to have, fulfill your wildest dreams with the game of football. But one day this game will end. I just want to ask you, man, what's your major? What do you plan on doing once football is over with?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I've always been writing and reading. So I definitely, after this football thing is over with, hopefully it ends with me having a nice big house on a hill or something and being in the NFL. But I've always wanted to be an author. I've
Okay.
always loved to write short stories, even comics when I was a kid, poems, all of that. So I've always wanted to be an author and just write anything. Honestly, I'm an English major, and yeah, I author, man.
Man, you don't hear too many. You don't hear too many cats. The English man. I was an English minor in college, and I read a lot of books, man. So, are you reading
Mhm.
anything currently?
Yes, sir. I'm every day. I crack open this right here. Jesus speaks.
Okay.
It's actually really good. Every day you get a little word in. So I'm on January 12th. Obviously, it's got dates on it. And yeah, man, I'm getting
Okay.
in touch with the Lord while I'm reading. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome, man. I'm gonna have to get on Amazon and pick that up myself, man. I'm reading "Message to the Black Man" by
Yes,
Elijah
sir.
Muhammad. So I read a lot of Black empowerment books, but
Okay.
Jesus speaks. I'll have to get in.
Okay,
I'll
I
have to
like that.
tap in with that, man. That's pretty cool, man. What drives your faith, man? It sounds like you're really faith driven to have a book like that and to mention the Lord and tap in with the Lord. But where's that come from as far as that relationship with God and things like that?
Honestly, it comes from my family. We've always been the type of family to go to church and pray before we go to bed and pray at the dinner table. So God has just been something that's always been in my life. So I'm not gonna stop now just because I'm not with my family. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Yeah, man.
and also I've seen God work.
Mm.
God got me into Jackson State the day before signing day. God got me in the All American Bowl. God switched me to DB so all of this could happen. God, I mean, I've seen him work and he's blessed me in so many different ways. And I mean, I just can't thank him enough. I'm incredibly blessed.
Well, man, that is the amen to that. That is the perfect segue to go ahead and end this, Bruce, man. Congratulations to you, buddy. This is Bruce Batman Mitchell. Be sure to check out for him this spring. Well, I mean, he was at the spring game. He knows what impact that makes on recruits. It got him to Jackson. And Bruce, hey, congratulations, man. I wish you nothing but the best, nothing but success, man. And I'll be tapped in. I'll be checking you out and tapped in and definitely following along, man. So congratulations and thank you for joining me on the show tonight.
Thank you so much, man. It was a blessing to be here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Once again, that's Bruce Mitchell, Bruce Batman Mitchell, Jackson State signing class of 2023. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And Bruce, before I get out of here, where can they find you, man? I know a lot of them already know you and have you on social media, but where can they find you on social media? They want to tap in with NIL deals, all that stuff. Let them know right now.
Um, on on Twitter is at Touchdown Batman, and then on Instagram is Brew5Brew. So if you want to put it in chat, you can. But on Twitter, like I said, on Twitter is at Touchdown Batman, and on Instagram is Brew5Brew. So go follow me, message me anything you want to. I'll try to respond to everybody as quickly as I can. So thank y'all all so much for tuning in, and yeah, man, let's get it going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once again, that's Bruce Batman Mitchell Jackson, State Class of 2023. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button on your way out, and we will